Ex-wife OF accounts before OF, cheating, and my redemption. Part 1. No cursing because I want you to have an easy time posting this. I also split it into different parts so you would not have trouble reading on and on. Thank you for letting me submit this. It was actually very therapeutic. Writing it out and getting it off my chest again gave me a lot of validation. If you want some proof behind all of what I'm saying, I do still have a folder with the screenshots I plan on deleting soon. I was recently clearing out some old things in my Google Drive, and I saw it. Hey, True, long time no talk. I know I sent this story back in like 2020. Woo, wow. So that was a little minute ago, huh? I don't remember the exact story, though. You'll have to refresh my memory, or I don't know if you put the link in here at all, but we'll see. But that was during a really harsh time in my life, and I couldn't fully explain or give context to things properly. I recently started watching your videos again, and I thought it'd be a good idea to retell the story now that I am in much better place, as well as stronger and more successful in every way. I actually thank her. It's as if she unlocked a superpower in me that I didn't know I had that experience. Sadly, it's necessary for a lot of men. Yeah, I hear you, man. So that's good. I'm glad you're giving a backstory, because I just reading your email and seeing your name, I did not remember. I don't remember. 2020. We all were going through a lot in 2020, right? And yeah, you guys know I was doing stories every day. I was knocking them out. So salute to you, man. Thanks for giving this backstory. Let's give this backstory, and I'll probably split the video into two. But let's go ahead and start with backstory. So, backstory. Me and my family are extremely close and religious. We have an unbreakable bond that can't be burned, even under the most stressful of times. Also, my dad is from a different country, and while he was there, he never experienced modern American women. He moved to a part of the States that was more conservative and traditional, so my mom was the first person he dated when coming here, and he was the first person that she ever dated. So they are all they have ever known and didn't teach us about girls growing up. I don't even think I got the bird and the bees talk. Me and my ex-wife met around 2018. I was young, happy, and no care in the world, but all I wanted was to finally have a girlfriend. I'm not gonna lie. True, I was dusty looking dude, but I had a lot of potential back then, and low self-esteem really controlled my life, which caused me to make horrible decisions in my early 20s, especially with this one. When we first met, I thought that she was so beautiful, and being half Caribbean, I was extremely attracted to her. To me, she looked like Rihanna since she, too, was half Caribbean. We met by coincidence. I had a party at my house and someone was asking if she could come. I didn't really know anything about her, honestly. I didn't care who was coming. I just wanted to have a good time. We met and eventually became friends. Our favorite thing to do together was go to Chipotle for lunch and dinner. Naturally, I paid. I must say that I was a sucker. Corn really clouds your judgment, and I wish that I wasn't so addicted. True, you are going to think that I'm lying about this, but while we were friends, this girl was asking me one day if I wanted to watch a video, and I say sure. I thought it was going to be a YouTube video. This girl puts a video on of her pleasing herself. I had never had an experience like this and didn't know how to respond or act, so I just turned into a caveman and started drooling, and eventually she was asking me to go to my car. This chick wasted no time and gave me top in the back of my car. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, wow, this girl really likes me. We then kept hooking up in parking garages, etc. I really wanted her, and after 2 to 3 months of me begging her to date, she finally agrees and we become officially boyfriend and girlfriend. It really is a lack of self-respect to have to beg somebody to want to be with you for 1 and 2, and I knew she was going on multiple dates in between this time. I was such a simp. Anyways, if you couldn't tell already, I was extremely low value to her, so she was always extremely disrespectful. But I was of the mindset that all guys have to constantly put up with behavior like this. My thoughts were that this just comes with being a guy, and being this is my first girlfriend, I had a scarcity mindset and knew I couldn't lose her, especially since I lost my virginity to this chick at my big age of 21. Looking back, I could have easily looked at the example of my parents and realized my worth. I've seen my parents argue once in their 35 years of marriage, and I could have seen that this treatment isn't normal. But hey, hindsight is 2020. Trouble disrespecting me or anybody I was friends with or family with. It even came down to her asking for me to cut off any friends and her convincing me that they did not care about me. Wow. Making me more reliant on her and her alone. One day I was on the phone with her while playing video games, as I always would do, when suddenly I get 2 DMs on Twitter. It was from an anonymous account. I clicked on the links and my world shattered. It was of my girl effing an ex-boyfriend and another of her giving top. These were 2 different dudes. I darn near threw up. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. No normal person would be able to put up with this. Seeing your girl do something like that would be the end. I was so angry and disgusted. Eventually, I called back going into investigation mode, and she went screaming and crying, saying that this is RP and that someone is trying to destroy her life. I felt horrible. She was a victim. The upload date was around the time I was begging her to date me, which means that this was likely during that time. Since I was extremely weak and had to cut everybody off, she was all I had at this point. I could have reached out to my family. They would have had my back, but I had already done so much that I felt like I couldn't. I hadn't even gone to see my parents in many months at that point. I was a complete idiot and felt like I had no one, plus I didn't want to lose her, and I told myself I could just swallow it, and that true love never fails. Pure 99.99% simp behavior. I know the comments are going to go crazy over this, and I wish it was all a joke, or that I was lying, but I don't even think I've ever been this down bad. Please show some grace and remember that I was completely blue pill, guys. Never had any chick like this ever, and had extremely low self-esteem to where I felt at the time I couldn't do any better. And on top of everything, the sunk cost comes into play where I had done so much to get her that I was willing to do anything to keep her. I'm going to fast forward to after our engagement. I'm 22 and my brothers pulled me aside, begging me not to marry this chick. They could see how much I've changed and how unhappy I look, but being the blue pill guy I was at the time, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do anything but defend her honor. And he has a clown face here. I told myself that I was following the Bible's advice of leaving your mother and father and being one with your wife, and that's all I could focus on. Finally, we were married, and my parents and family actually still showed up, even though I had disrespected them and stopped talking to them. My dad wanted to fight me, but I always forget the love a father has for his son because he, although was angry, still showed me the respect that I couldn't seem to give him. He hugged me, took pictures, and then had a good night. There was a small squabble between him and my new in-laws, but that's pretty irrelevant. I told myself that it's only up from here. All my problems are solved. I'm finally married, and everything is going to be great. We had plans to move to Florida once we were married, so everything was finally in place. Boy, I was wrong.